Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. This is another episode of Let's Discuss Book Stuff because we have things to discuss. And there's never really a true week where there's not something happening in the bookish community. So basically there was this author that really ruffled bookish threads over the weekend. Well, actually this entire week, because there's a book that came out. I think it was scheduled to release March 16th. And I don't know what you guys are on. I really don't know what you guys are on. I don't even know how to start. Anyways, I'm going to put a trigger warning right here because this involves PDF files. And it's crazy. And so I'm going to talk about PDF files and racism because I'm going to circle back on that conversation I had not too long ago because it needs to be had. Okay, so there was this author who writes under a pen name. And I believe their book came out March 16th. And a lot of people are upset about this, rightfully so. It's really about trigger warning, okay? I'll read you the little excerpts that the characters have. You have Lucy and you have Arthur. I don't know if I can read this. I'm childish. I think I might put like a copy of it on the screen or something, but essentially Arthur is Lucy's dad's best friend, okay? So Lucy's dad has a best friend named Arthur, who from what I've read, I let me tell you, I'm not about to stay in this rabbit hole too much longer. I'm going to tell you that right now. But so Arthur sees Lucy as a toddler, like as a child, as 3 years old, and apparently likes her at 3 years old. Likes her more than a normal person would like a toddler. You know what I mean? Like he likes what he's seeing with Lucy, and he cannot wait until she's finally legal. It's kind of sick, okay? Lucy, her little character description, basically like she can't help herself around him. And how she wishes Arthur could be her daddy. And that's all I'm going to read from Lucy's part. Y'all can... Yeah. Arthur says, "My juicy Lucy." I think I'm too childish for this or something. It's very uncomfortable, I think is what I'm trying to say. This already reads uncomfortable. She's finally 18. I've wanted her longer than I can legally admit. She doesn't know yet, but she's going to be my perfect little toy. This is sickening, bro. Like, this is sick. This is sick. My precious little unicorn, and I'm going to be her daddy. Sorry, I just have a loss for words. Basically, there's this review. There's a review on Goodreads. I might have to censor some things out before I put it on the screen because what I'm not going to do, I'm too childish to read it out loud. I don't know. I'm too childish to read it out loud, but I wish someone would have said trigger warning before I read that because I'm like, oh, what the hell did I just read? Someone received an ARC. They got to about 23% before they had the DNF. And they agree, like, the number one thing that should have been on the trigger warnings list was pedophilia. Like, it really should have. The main character started noticing the female character when she was 3. I'm sorry, but 3 years old. Then she quotes something out of the book saying, "Wanting a woman as sweet as my friend's toddler daughter, Lucy, who was 3 at the time." And I'm not going to read the second part because the second part is really what gagged me and not in a good way. Even this reader said they wanted to continue, like give it a shot, but like, I cannot get beyond this. And then there's other people, reviewers. I say other people. I know there is for sure one who I think rated it 5 stars and said it was awesome and amazing. I think the whole selling point of this book is to present these characters as DDLG, which I did not know what this means, so I had to look it up. I guess it means daddy dom / little girl. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time dealing with this. So when people caught wind of this, people raise hell, as they should. I feel bad for the dark romance girlies because, and I say dark romance, even though any genre can have taboo topics. I feel like dark romance, though, has these taboo topics. They have kinks. They have the sexual element that goes with it. And so it adds another layer of, there's a very fine line, right? No one's saying you can't talk about, I guess, daddy dom little girl between consenting adults. We're getting to a problem when you have a grown-ass man already fiending, plotting, and scheming with a 3-year-old toddler. Are we sick in the head? I just think it's too far. It's too much for me. Now, I don't know. I do know. That is just too much. It is too much. And apparently this author wrote under a pen name. There's more layers to this. Let's keep going. Wrote under a pen name. So once people caught wind of this, a lot of people went after, the graphic design, who did the cover art, who was the editor, all these different people. But this author actually lied to these people. So some people say, well, the title of the book and, the way that it's presented, we go back to book covers again. You have these kiddish elements. You have this crazy title. Again, is it between two consenting adults where, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a different flavor. Not everyone's going to get it, but I don't think it's okay. Fictional or not, babes, fictional or not. You have a grown ass man lurking and liking a young child. You don't think that's sick? I don't think that should even be fantasized about in this way. You know what I mean? It's dos muchos. Anyways, so it come to find out, the author finally, I think the next day, today as I'm recording this, issued an apology because people were reporting this book on Amazon. So eventually the listing was still there, but you couldn't purchase it, right? So they're like, no, you need to continue to keep reporting it. So the author ended up, I think, removing the actual listing themselves. This is what the author had to say in regards to their apology. Hi, everyone. I think there's been a huge misunderstanding. DLT is definitely not promoting or inciting anything ever to do with CSA or pedophilia. What is being said is grossly disturbing and breaks my heart as well as makes me sick. DLT is fictional and meant to represent the DDLG world. I understand where I went wrong, and that is why I removed it from Amazon this morning. What happened between these characters, yes, started at a young age. No intercourse happened while she was young. Yes, there were thoughts, and I could see how that is frowned upon. Nothing happened like that until she was of age. I know nothing that I say is going to change or fix what I've written. There are, however, 3 innocent people who have been caught in the crossfire, and it needs to stop. Georgia, Misha, and Ashley, along with their businesses, Pixel and Quill Studio, the cover designer, Mish Taylor, PA, graphics, and AVA, book editing editor. These ladies were under no impression that I was Lauren Ashley writing as Tori Woods. I reached out to these ladies to work with them as Tori and only as Tori. Okay, so we already got some deceitfulness going on. So they don't, I don't even know who Lauren Ashley is. I think maybe there's some plagiarism issues with that author. I'm not too sure, so I'm not going to say all of that. But there's already problems with that one. Then you write under a pen name and you don't even tell these people who are working on this project with you who you also could be known as. So there's some shadery going on. Tori continues and says, Georgia was my PA for Lauren Ashley and had only ever read half of my very first book and decided it wasn't for her. This is why she became my PA, because she was honest. G has raised concerns with me about people mentioning her ARC form. This was copied from a template, hence why they all look the same. Misha Taylor has read a couple of my books, but not this one in particular. Neither of them knew to the full extent what was in this book. Ashley edited this book. She had asked me some questions, and in my replies, I wasn't entirely truthful. Okay. She did not read over my final manuscript, which became the published, now unpublished version. I am so sorry that I wasn't who I said I was, and I'm sorry for the content in my book, and I'm even more sorry that this was missed as a trigger warning. I will be removing myself from the book community. If I ever get back to writing, I will not hide who it is, and I will make sure the people I work with know the full content of my books. However, I don't see that happening. I'm so sorry. What in the can of worms did we unleash here? Oh my God. So yeah, do you think it's safe? Do you think it's okay to write books that really, in this way, where it talks about pedophilia, as long as there's a trigger warning, as long as there's nothing sexual, physically, that happens until they're of 18 of age? Do you think that's okay? Like, is that okay even in the fictional world? Is that okay? It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I think it's gross. I don't like it. I just don't. And this goes back to, and I'm going to bring up racism because this goes back to my other Let's Discuss book stuff, where people were mad at people not liking a harmful racial stereotype in a book. They wanted to say, you read about stalking, you read about this, you read about that, but then when it comes to racism, you want to be offended. Okay, now I want to ask those same people, are you okay because you read everything else? You read all these other things. Are you okay with how pedophilia is in this book? Are you okay with how this is presented? Are you okay with a fictional man lusting over a 3-year-old toddler in the fictional world? Are you okay with that because you read everything else? And if you're not okay with that, why are you okay with racism in the book? Why is one different than the other? Why is it okay? Neither is okay in real life. Let me make that clear. Being a racist head is not okay. It's not. It's not, okay? Lusting after a 3-year-old girl and all that other stuff is not okay. It's not. So those same people that were mad about other people being offended about racism in a book, saying you read everything else and get over it, do you have that same energy here? And if you don't have that same energy, why is it different? I think both are wrong. I think both are wrong. Like, what are we doing here? I also feel bad for the dark romance girlies because I feel like it always ends up painting a negative light on the dark romance genre. I think my main concern with the dark romance genre is that I would just prefer, if it's going to be dark romance, I need it to be consensual every time. I don't know if that's hard to find in dark romance. It kind of feels like it is. But why can't we have consent right out the gate? Okay? Because you're toting a thin line, even in the fictional world. Okay? That's my personal problem. But I feel like it's also not, I feel like when people don't write about kinks in a safe way, you end up making it even more like evilized. I don't even know, like demonized. You know what I mean? Like, if things happen between two consenting adults, like a dominatrix or whatever, right? We're consenting to what we're doing here. We have safeguards in place. We are being respectful of each other, honoring each other's wishes. And if at any time it doesn't feel okay, we can revoke that consent. Okay. When you don't kind of show that element, I feel like in a dark romance novel, and you're showing things that are taboo or frowned upon in general, it's not making it's making these otherwise normal kinks, if it happened between consenting adults, is kind of showing them in a negative light, and it's kind of like shaming people who participate in that. because you don't have that extra consensual talk. You don't have that extra whatever, right? So to have DDLG, I guess, presented in a way where you got pedophilia preceding that is like a stain on an already taboo subject, already on a taboo practice that many already don't understand. Then you lead into that with pedophilia. You know what I'm saying here? Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? I am flabbergasted. I'm stunned. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck did I just read? And why and who and why? And I'm not judging, but I am, because why would you write that? And also, you knew it was fucked up, because if you didn't think what you written was fucked up, you wouldn't have lied to people who worked on this project with you. You wouldn't have lied about who you truly are. You wouldn't have not even shown the editor the final manuscript. You wouldn't have like darted important questions. So you already knew in the writing process you're fucked up. Like, you already knew you fucked up. You already knew this was fucked up. Like, you already knew that. So there's not a question of like, is this person right or wrong? You already knew you were wrong. And that's why you did what you did, how you did what you did. And to say like, oh, I wasn't trying to do it that way, but you knew how you were going about it was fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you just knew it was. You knew it was. And now you got these people in the crossfires of your shenanigans because you weren't truthful your own damn self. So I think in the bookish community, look, I think I don't think there's ever a time where pedophilia in a dark romance way where it's ever okay, right? I think if you wrote a book and it talked about how effed up it is, you know what I mean? Versus like making it seem like it's just like a type of trope or a type of, you know what I'm saying? Right? Like, it's kind of presented like this is totally normal and people should fiend for this. You know what I mean? Like, why is that? Like, this, I don't know. Anyways, I'm disturbed. I do not appreciate this. Let me know your thoughts down below. Please keep it respectful in the comments. But I do implore you guys to ask yourself, if you were okay with racism in a book, but you're not okay with pedophilia in a book, what makes that different? To me, I'm pissed off at both things. So I don't like either one. I don't like harmful stereotypes. I don't like harmful things written in this manner to where it's like, oh, that, you know, it's not something to be fetishized. It's not something to yearn for. It's not, those elements are not okay in any space, right? It's just not okay. It's just not. Okay, y'all. That's all I have to jamber about. It does remind me of another topic that I'll talk about at a later time, but it kind of talks, it just reminds me of another topic in these young adult spaces too. So anyways, yeah, I'm disturbed. I'm going to go now, but let me know your thoughts down below respectfully. Make sure you comment and subscribe and like this video. Let me know your thoughts. Did you see this catch win on Book Threads recently? This is insane. I think we really need to check ourselves, because what the f is going on? Until next time. Peace.